Well, here now, Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. Senator, great to have you with us. We finally got the real number, Senator. 4.9. Many of us have been talking about that. You've been talking about that for a very long time. How can your moderate colleagues on the Democratic side in the Senate vote for something that adds this much to the deficit?
I think that they better think twice, long and hard, before they vote for something like this. You know, when you look at Biden's numbers, he has been so far off track. Schumer, Pelosi, their numbers are so far off track. It's not fully paid for. It is an estimated $3 trillion in additional debt through the end of this decade. Now think about those numbers, because it gets bigger the further you go. Now, Schumer says, well, all of these costs would be offset. You can interpret that as being higher taxes, because they're going to have more money to pay for this. The only way they can come get that money is to grab it out of your wallet and use it to pay for their programs, which primarily are programs you don't want, don't need, not going to use, and our kids and grandkids, these programs will be obsolete by the time they start working, get a job, and have to pay for these things.
Senator, I think what Americans need to really understand about this bill is actually the first bill, the bill that's written, the bill that got scored first at $1.9 trillion. That truly was the fake accounting, because it didn't actually project reality. What we're seeing now is what really happens in D.C. year in and year out. You've got the Democrats trying to sell this news score as fake. They've got it entirely backwards. But look, voters have to understand this, Senator.
Yes, you're exactly right. What they were trying to do is take 10 years worth of taxes and put programs for 1, 2, or 3 years on the books, just so that they could get these programs on the books. And then they were going to come along and every year extend this program a little further. Now, they thought they could get by with it because they got Obamacare on the books by using fake accounting. And then they said, if you get these programs on the books, Republicans will never be able to get rid of them. But people have wised up. They know what they're doing. They know that these programs are too expensive to afford. People do not want higher taxes, especially when inflation is through the roof.
Senator, I want to switch gears really quickly and talk about the Olympics. You had a piece at foxnews.com recently talking about the administration's decision to not send diplomatic representatives to China. Interestingly, you didn't just call that not going far enough. You said that's actually the wrong move, and Beijing would be pleased that we're not sending diplomats, but we are sending our athletes. Talk about the risk that you see to our athletes in China for the Olympics.
Yes, when you look at our athletes going over to China, then you have to take into account their health, their safety, security, their well-being, and also look at how China is. There are reports about DNA testing that they want to do. There's concern over China trying to distribute their digital yuan and all of this wearable technology that will be given to the athletes to use the digital yuan. So this is all tracking devices. This is all part of the spy network that the Chinese Communist Party has, where they're building a dossier on every single person. Now, they don't give a rip and flip. If our diplomats come, they want our TV networks, they want our cameras, they want our athletes, they want our businesses to do those sponsorships. And that way they can say, look, world, everybody wants to come to Beijing. They're all coming with their dollar.
It's all about surveillance, Senator. We're sending athletes to surveillance. We got to leave it there. Thank you for joining us, Senator Marsha Blackburn. We appreciate it.
Good to be with you. Thank you.